We're gonna do an experiment today to see if my bow hatch leaks. I have seen a lot of things on social media where people's hatches have been pouring water in. And you might have seen the video. But one of the things that it didn't show was what did the outside look like? How did the latches look? What did the seal look like? And so what we're gonna do is we're actually gonna look and see what happens when I spray this thing down with water. Obviously, we're gonna close it first. And then we're gonna check it all out and we're gonna see if anything leaks. And we're going to also have some cameras on the inside, 2 of them. And that's gonna give us a bird's eye view of the inside. And I'm gonna mash it all up so you can see me spraying it while this is happening and everything's going. I also put a light in there so we can hopefully see it a little bit better. We have it lined up to where the main entry points will be. There's a drain channel here, and then this is the main, I guess, drain channel comes across here. And yeah, we're gonna look and see. And I also put down some paper towels, and we're gonna see if they get wet. I have had this out on the water, and I did not have any water get in, and I had some water popping up, nothing too drastic, but that doesn't mean that this is gonna work and we're not gonna leak. There we go. Now it was dry in there, and I have an extra towel. The way I can dry it off a little bit on the top side before I open it up. And while we do this, I'm gonna show a couple other things with the bow of this kayak. You see my walkthrough, I'm sure, where I pointed out the drain plugs, or the drain holes rather, and the bowl and how that works. And we're gonna talk about that. We're gonna show that getting filled up and how it flows out and why that's a good thing. And right now I'm just using like the highest jet, the pressure one. You're not gonna get water like this popping through. And I'm hitting every angle, as you can see there. Let's go ahead and, not that. Let's go to a next setting and just kind of, it'd be like a heavy rain or, steady downpour. Oh, summertime downpours, right? And here's a kind of a heavy rain, but not like a monsoon. And we'll go, this is a better flooding situation. So it's not as forceful, but it's still putting out a lot of water, more so at a time than probably the jet. And we got our angle, that's not anything different. And that's nothing, that's a rain. Now, here is the flood. I'm gonna go ahead and fill this up as much as I can. And it's hard for you guys to see this probably, but water is floating down in there. Let me go ahead and record that with the phone, and we'll sync that up as well when it comes time. It's filling up all the channels, water's rushing through there, and it's coming around, and it's gonna go down in here. Let's get this thing filled up as much as possible. And you can see the water is pulling up here, right? And it's draining out of here pretty darn steadily. And what this does, these drain holes and this bowl situation, it allows it to take a big wave, and instead of like just inundating everything, it can go ahead and collect here and then drain a little slower, instead of just getting all up on your electronics. It could come up here and then it'll collect lower than your electronics, lower than the hatch, and not just kind of like drown every single thing. I think that's pretty good right there. We're gonna do minimal editing on this, especially these parts where I'm opening things, and I might not do any editing, so don't mind all my filler words, don't mind my crazy talking to this camera and not this camera. It's just how it goes sometimes when you're trying to do an experiment where you show every facet of it without trying to edit it and make it look, like you did something different. All right, I'm going to open this up, and I gotta just make sure that it is nice and dried off. This extra, you did see the water coming down there, so let's just double check. And as I open it up, I'm gonna kind of wipe it again, because it does kind of get on this lid a little bit, and there might be some drops. There might be some drops that pop down in here, but we'll know drops versus flood. Okay, let's look and see. I don't see anything but those drops that I talked about. It is really nothing. Now, I do have another experiment that I want to do you are gonna have to bear with me because I do have to go get a part. And while I do that, I'll just fast forward when I get back. And it's getting dark, so we're gonna have to hurry up. All right, I started working on my handy dandy computer plate, and I left it not enough of a gap so that way I can use some pool noodle to kind of hold it in place. And one of the things that I noticed, I gotta come around this side, is when I put this into place, hold on, I got these cameras in the way. Gotta move them a little bit. When I put this into place, it fit nice and good, but it did push up quite a bit on the roof, right? Which, or the roof, or you know, the top of the top of the hull. And that is one of the things that, as you know, they talked about installing it, that it might do that. I want to see if that has any effect on the leaking. It may or may not. I don't know. We're gonna find out though, because if it does, we're gonna have to be careful, because what happens is if you get too much you know, foam or whatever, and you push it up in there, or maybe yours wasn't quite cut just right, it does push up on this plastic, changing how this thing will seal. Let's find out. We got our cameras in there. Let's see, we still have our cameras. Boom, and we have the angle here. All right, here we go. Let's lock it up. And oh yeah, this one's a little different on this side now. It's hard to latch, but I got it. Let's hope. Let's go ahead and just do the flood. Hope I don't leak too bad and get some water on my lithium ion battery in there for my light. Well, this is the flood. I don't think we have to, you know, go all day, but you can see I am putting it all over this. The water's leaking out everywhere. It's piling up. It really is piling up over here. Let me get my cell phone out again and do another little recording. All right. You can see right here, it's really piling up. So if there's water leaking in there, I mean, if it's gonna leak, this is gonna do it. I don't even have to do all the other settings. We're just gonna try this. But, you know, so that way we are the same. We got a mist, who cares about the mist? Let's put this away. Got that. Here we go, the jet. Jet might actually get rid of some water. Whew. Jet might get rid of some water, who knows? Because it's spraying it out of there. All right, and our heavy downpour monsoon. The winds are coming through. And then we got a regular rain. If you're out there a regular rain, you're gonna drain before the bowl gets too wet or too filled up. I don't think you're gonna sink or anything. All right, heavy duty downpour. It's not the flood, it's kind of in between jet and flood. It's a lot of water, but a lot of force too. All right, we're good. All right, back to the flood. Now, here's the moment of truth. Did putting the computer plate in there, pushing up on the hull of the kayak, change the seal of the bow hatch? I don't know. This is gonna be a little harder to test without super dry towel, so let's change this one out for this one. It's not quite as good. I got a little top secret thing under there. Don't wanna show it off just yet. I do have another video coming out. It's already edited. It's on the water training, or on the water training. It's on the water review. It's on the water review of this where I show kind of the sides, how the water's popping up, how it comes up over, and that's gonna let you know if, you know, this test is gonna let you know if you get out there and that happens to you, are you gonna have water in it? Also, I just kind of talk about my new foot controls and my new seat. That video is coming out soon as well. I want you guys to be able to start building that. And it's really not a build. It's very easy. The only thing I gotta do is I gotta change one thing up possibly. And that's why I was kind of waiting to put it out, but I might go ahead and put it out. A lot of people aren't as heavy as me, and the build that I have now will work perfectly. If you're heavy as me, well, we got a new setup coming. All right, let's do this. Here's the moment of truth. Wipe this down best I can. so a bunch of drafts don't get in there. Oh, hey, guess what? We have no water. It did not change it. If your seal is leaking, this is what I want to talk about with you. And what I want you to check for is does yours have kind of like the nice little lip here? You can kind of feel it. It goes away a little bit at the edge here. But also make sure that it's not too far in, it's not too far out, and that it's compressed. The other thing is right here. See how mine is touching? There's no gap here. If you have a gap here, you're gonna leak. My Native Titan X had a little bit of a gap here, it leaked. Make sure that there's no one spot that is pinched down way more than the other. You wanna make sure that it's nice and even. And what I do when I'm back in the garage is I go ahead and I open the hatch and leave it open until the next time out. That allows that foam to kind of expand back and not just be compressed all the time. Over time, you know, between the heat, the sun, all that good stuff, this seal is going to kind of get, you know, squished down to the point where it won't extract. And if it doesn't extract, then it's not going to seal as well. Make sure that you check your bow hatch, make sure it's not warped, make sure it's not disformed, disfigured, check your seals, check the lips, check it before you go out. Don't hook it up and just assume everything's going to work out right. Make sure that it doesn't leak. Put a computer plate on it, get your electronics up off of the bottom, and so that way if water does happen to get in there, at least doesn't sit in there. And yeah, I've got some new videos coming out soon. We're gonna have a lot over the next few weeks, and so yeah, we'll see you then. Tight lines.